Relax, it's water. Yeah. Big Sil's Power Hour, number 3. Woo, baby, we're starting to get close to game day on Thursday. How you feeling? Confident? Comfortable? Christian Ellis? Nicholas Morrow? Who's the other Steph? Who's the other guy? Zach Cunningham. Woo! Okay. Man. Woohoo! Yeah. Skull. Look at Shooter. Shooter's like Skull, baby. You taking the 7? Has anyone taken the 7 yet? That number's got to be dropping down a little bit. How you doing? 34-24 Birds. 31-17. Wow, you think you got to get – wait. You couldn't hold the New England Patriots to 20 points or under. Okay? They scored 20 on you. And you think you're going to hold the Vikings to 17. Shooter goes, I have 50 on the 7. How you doing? How you doing? You man. Continue to keep it real, Sills. Thank you, Chris. It's all a lot. Hey, Chris, remember this. This is not politics. It's fun. It's sports talk. At the end of the day, you know, we all have pom-poms and banners. Okay? Nobody gets killed here. This is sports talk. You know, the heroes are on Twitter. Sileo, if you ever saw me, you'd run. Don't kid yourself. No, okay? Don't kid yourself, man. I'm not that maniac any longer. I'm more of a pacifist now. You know, I'm a little bit more, you know, settled because I have a family. So I'm more of a pacifist, you know. I'm more of an intellectual. Oh, man, I can't do what Sirianni does. I can't bullshit you and lie to you. I can't pretend. You know, here, Brian, I'll try. Let me see if I can do what Nick did to you guys on Monday. Wait a minute. Got to give me a break here. Brian Johnson called a spectacular football game on Sunday. Damn, I'll try it again. Nick Sirianni talking to the media. Hey, Brian Johnson called a spectacular game on Sunday against the Patriots. Sorry, I got a twitch thing here. I have a small case of epilepsy here. Hey, I mean, I can't lie to you like that. Actually, I do have fainting spells at times. Just to be. So if anyone says anything, I do actually. But we do realize one thing. Let's reset this whole thing here. Professor, Professor, it's one thing to sit here and shit on something for 2 days and not have an answer. That's a great take right there. Okay? Seals, can you speak on what we can do schematically to mitigate the deficiencies at linebacker? Your D-line has more pressure on it now. Okay? You have to get more pressure with your front four. What really changed on how people started looking at the Eagle defense last year is when Reddick started getting going. Okay? He started getting going, right? He started getting home. Tone's great statistics, two that I love. number one in caused fumbles, number one in third down sacks. He was getting you. Hassan Reddick was theoretically getting you off the field. Okay? He was getting you off the field. So, and hey, would we not agree? How many times did Mac Jones throw the ball? 54 times? Shit, man. You could possibly see Kirk Cousins throw that ball 65 times. Dude, he's thrown the ball over 600 times in certain years. He's going to put that football up in the air. Look, the Minnesota Vikings on Thursday night are not going to sit around and try to ground it out with you. They're not going on 14-play drives. They were a quick strike team. They're actually set up for 3 and outs. Okay? They're set up for 3 and outs. So what? They have 3 and outs. They have 2 of them. They could quick score it just like that with Addison or Hawkinson and Jefferson. They don't care. They care about plays. You see, this is almost kind of like Chip Kelly shit. He wants to get as many plays as he possibly can because he's playing the averages against your defense because your defense is not very good. Steve goes, Slay another 6? Maybe. There's going to be opportunity for it. Okay, there's going to be another opportunity for it. Okay? Chris goes, Slay owns Jefferson. I wouldn't say one outing is owning anybody. I would say it's a super start to matching up against someone. Owning someone is Dak owning the Eagles. That's owning someone. Okay? When you've played 11 games and you've won 8 of them, that's owning. When you've matched up one time against them, that's not owning. Dak owns you. How about this? Not the numbers. They do, but the wins. The wins say it. Get this. Eagle fan has no response to that because it's fact. You could throw all the stats out. Let's not use stats. Let's just use wins and losses. He owns you. Dak owns the Giants. He's 11-0 versus them in a row. He got 11 straight wins. 31-7 is owning someone. How many Super Bowls do you have versus the Niners? You might want to check your Lombardi trophy case compared to those guys and how many NFC titles you have compared to them guys. You might just want to keep. I wouldn't say anybody owns the Niner franchise. Okay? The 49ers are one of the most historically successful franchises in NFL history. Be careful there, too. Okay? For a team that's got 1 Super Bowl ring, telling me that you own the Niners, that's not true. Okay? Niners have 5 of them things. 5. Numerous NFC championship trophies, too. I think they got 5. I think they got 7 NFC titles to boot. Was it 5 NFC titles? Kaepernick and Garoppolo. So they got 7 NFC championships in 5 Super Bowls. And they're 5-2 in Super Bowls. I don't know. That counts. Maxton, that counts. NFL championships count. It does. That does. I guess you put your money on Purdy. I would say this to you, Philip. Michael Parsons is saying he's one of the most elite quarterbacks in the NFL right now. He looked awful elite against the Steeler defense. And TJ Watt had a TJ Watt game. He was good. And he destroyed that defense. He destroyed that Pittsburgh-led Mike Tomlin defense. It destroyed it. Brandon Ayuk doesn't look the same with him throwing him the ball. And if that dude plays like that all year long, Niners will be very difficult to beat. That will be a – so look at this. Again, yeah. If he plays like that, 49ers are going to be very difficult to beat. They will. Okay? Dosa goes, they haven't won shit in this era. Yep. Under Jeffrey Lurie, you've got one Super Bowl in 30 years. You can dissect that success if you want to. Let's see. Let's do this here. Let me get again and reset here again. On the eve of the game, you're at a personnel. Hey, real quick before what we brought up with Angelo, Nick Sirianni, who do you think made the call to play Gainwell? Howie, Brian, or Nick? Who do you blame for trying to establish that dude? Who do you blame for that? That's not a Hurts thing. Jalen has nothing to do with that. You know why? Because that was predetermined in the scripted plays right out of the gate to start the game. Whose decision was that? So wait a minute. Kyle says, so let me ask you this. So when you were putting that game plan together and you scripted those first 22 plays out and you've got Nick, I'm going to assume Howie's not in the room. I'm just going to assume he's not in the room. So you have Nick, Brian Johnson, probably Jalen. The three of you together, nobody said this? Why aren't we trying to establish DeAndre Swift? What was the debate that made that where it swung towards Gainwell in that decision-making when it came to your personnel grouping? Escape from prison murder near Philly, PA, caught this morning after 14 days on the run with an Eagles shirt on. That's okay. Hey, maniac, how many times do you turn on Cops and you see a guy in handcuffs with a cane shirt on? I wouldn't get too twisted on that. Okay? I wouldn't get too. How many times you turn Cops on and you see a guy wearing a hurricane shirt? I'm glad they beat that guy up too, man. He looked good all beat up, didn't he? Guy's murdered 2 people. I think he killed one chick like in front of his kid or something. I'm glad they beat the shit out of him. We're the only team that beat Lombardi and Chip. True. Good one, Wayne. That's right, the 60 title. Lombardi got beat. His only playoff loss as a head coach of the Green Bay Packers. It's absolutely hey, so wait a minute now. It's pretty good. You beat Lombardi and Belichick and champion in your last 2 championships. Yeah, wait a minute here. I got to rethink that. Hang on there, wait. You beat Lombardi and you beat Belichick in your last 2 championships. It's not like you're beating Don Coryell or anything here. Yeah, all right. All right. Whose decision was that to establish? Jalen's? Sirianni's? Or Brian Johnson's? You have 3 guys putting a game plan together. And you thought it is in the best interest to get Gainwell going. Why? What did he show? So Angelo said that, they've fallen in love with Kenneth Gainwell. Why? What has he shown you that makes you go, let me not establish Goddard or the new guy we got? I did. Starting Gainwell resulted Up 16-0. Yeah, then after that, he was dog shit. After that, he was nothing. Zero. No impact. Nothing. You established the least dude in your huddle. Got us up 16-0. Well, there's 60 minutes in a football game, my friend. Scott, you know, we don't play 10 minutes of football. We play 60. 6-0. We don't play 10. You allowed the team with the least talent on it in the AFC to come back on you and have the ball in their hands with 2 minutes left to win the game, and a toe tap saved the game. Guy couldn't get his toes down. Or they continue to drive and have 4 shots at the end zone with 25 seconds left. I don't know. I would have liked my odds. That guy gets that other foot down. You have 4 throws from the 25 going in. And the way you covered, you were not stopping them. You were not. You couldn't cover anybody. Mac Jones. Mac Jones threw for 300-plus yards on you. You're not even in – you haven't even started with the good quarterbacks yet. How you doing? People saying Gainwell's good. He barely carried the ball last season. He was rested for the playoffs. It's the only reason he's not poor. Dream's right. Your coaching's so suspect. The last 2 years, this is what happens when you here. This is what happens when you have a guy in the front office and Howie Roseman that has the complete autonomy over your team. Because Howie builds the team, gets the coaches. But the one thing he can't do is tell the coaches what to do. I don't think he does. Okay? I don't think he does. I think he has to rely on those guys to make the right calls. And that's why that Gainwell thing and the predictability of your offense in game one looked the way it did. It became predictable. All those drag routes coming from the backside when Jalen was front side, you saw those guys all wide open behind him. Why? Because they were predetermining where to go with the ball. Now, I'll say this to you. Maybe that was designed by Brian Johnson. Maybe that's how Brian Johnson sees how RPOs to be run. You see the difference? You know what? I'll go back to John McMullen because John's been a big proponent of Shane Steichen. You know the one thing that I will have to say? Let's put this out there. Shane Steichen and Brian Johnson are running the same playbook that they had a year ago. But it looked completely different. And by the way, the Detroit game looked completely different. That wasn't rust. Shit, Jalen threw for a ton of – they had a ton of offense in that game. Didn't they put up 38 points in that game? They put up 38 points, didn't they? I mean, AJ went like nuts in that game. I think that's the game that Devontae didn't have a catch. Right? I thought there were 38 points put up in that thing. Right? This year, so you're telling me this year, what's the difference? Well, the play caller. The play caller is different. Okay? So, look, here's once again, if you're the Vikings tonight, and I like that play caller that's up there. I like him. If you're the Vikings offense and you're Cousins, you're immediately going to try to get Hawkinson going because there's not a chance in hell. And by the way, you know what you do? You get Addison and Jefferson. You clean out the zone because Job versus Addison, that's not going to cut it. Sorry. We'll see. Addison is a rookie. He's a pretty good talent. No, his second year, right? Is this second year? Or Or did they take him this year from USC? I forget. I think this is his first year. So you got Addison on Job. I'll take Addison in that matchup. We'll see what Slay does this time. He had a great game against them last year. You don't have a guy coming across the middle. And that KJ Osborne guy, he can play. He's a friend of mine. Okay? He's a friend of mine. I know him very well. And he can play. Kelly Green, last I checked, 1-0. Hey, Hoss, this isn't about winning battles. See what Kelly Green goes? Hoss, you won a battle. You haven't won the war. The war is winning the Super Bowl when you win the war. You've won a battle. There's a ton more battles to win. Great, congratulations. You won a battle. That's not winning the war. Far from it. I'm attacking that. Hey, I'll tell here. Jalen Carter in this ball game, 2 sacks, 10 tackles won't be enough. That's not going to be enough. 1 D tackle is not going to control this. Because if you go back and you think about what Aaron Donald had, what did Aaron Donald have on the Rams defense that helped him when it came to getting sacks? Do you guys know? What helped Aaron Donald in creating pressure and sacks? What did he have that helped him control football games? What helped him? To a point where you started looking and seeing, okay, that's right. They had Von Miller and they had Jalen Ramsey. You had another pass rusher on the other side that drew attention. And his corners at the time back then were pretty decent cover corners. Ramsey was a shutdown corner. Now, Ramsey's hurt. He's not even playing with the Dolphins. I don't think he is. I think he had a hamstring injury in camp. But they had those lockdown corners. You're out one of your all-pro corners. That's why, hey, look, full strength for the Eagles against the Vikings at Lincoln Financial. Telling them, am I right? 34-21. Does that sound right? 34-21. Somewhere in there, full strength. 34-21. But now with all the losses that you have, okay, this thing's now what Tone said yesterday, 31-27. This is going to be one of those games. You're the better team. I don't think Minnesota has anything on defense. Hey, let me say this to you, man. If that offense doesn't put up good numbers against this Minnesota Viking defense, you have bigger problems with your coordinator than you do with the personnel decisions that he's making. Okay? Because you better if you don't put up 38 points in this game on Thursday night, you got a problem. You've got a problem. And if Cousins puts up a 365-yard game and you see a 163 by Jefferson, I'm going to say something, man. This is going to be a fight every Sunday, Thursday, Monday, what have you, for you to win ball games. This is going to 42-31. Greg, if everything was right, probably. If everything was right. But you had your whole allotment of teams, and you scored 18 points offensively against New England. Vikings do not have that defense. They don't have the coaching staff. I don't think. They don't have the corners. They don't have the backs. They don't have the tight ends. They do have they're going to have to beat you out scoring. They got to get the Eagles in a shootout. They got to get the Eagles in a shootout. I'll tell you what, man. If I were Minnesota, I would completely surrender the run. And I would just try to play red zone defense and keep you out of the end zone. For you to win this game, you've got to make Philadelphia kick field goals instead of scoring touchdowns. You've got to make them kick field goals. Let them drive down the field. To me, the biggest problem that you could have if you're Philly, why would you want to establish a defense against a secondary and against a defense that can't cover? That they can't cover. The Vikings can't cover. So why would you try to run the ball and do this? Run the clock off, keep the Vikings offense off the field. Is that what you're trying to do? So you want to establish it? Maybe that makes sense. Establish the run, limit the touches to the Vikings so you don't make it a shootout. That probably makes more sense. Let me rethink that. So limit Minnesota's touches instead of limiting the Eagle touches. So maybe establishing the run is the right thing to do. Because to me, I don't want Minnesota's offense on the field more than the defense. Okay? Because that's their best unit. Okay? That's their best unit. If you don't know, Angelo's great. Me and him become fantastic friends. I absolutely love the guy. Gainwell's out, so Penny and Swift. Okay? I thought those guys would be the main guys anyway, didn't you? I thought they'd be the starters anyway. I think we'll be okay. 30-24. Maniac, Tone's got 31-27. You're kind of right in there. So yeah. I think you guys are right, man. I think they are one-dimensional. Why you got rid of Dalvin Cook is a personnel decision that I cannot get. I'm actually glad Gainwell is out. I want to see this offense with Swift. And I get your point. I know you're not wishing anything on anybody, and I know that, Tone. So but again, remember, Tone, most people are soft, and they'll think that you are glad that he got hurt. I just want to make sure we clarify that. Not a chance in hell you're saying that. But you want to see the more talented players in the huddle. Common sense would say that. But you see, most people don't have common sense. Okay, because common sense sometimes isn't common. Not anymore. So I want to see Swift and Penny too. I'd like to see that. I do. Vikings can't run. Scott, they can't. They're one-dimensional. Absolutely. Absolutely there. I think we're going to miss Sanders more than people think. Let's get through another 60-minute football game. I'm with Angelo. I don't think you're panicking here yet. I don't. And I completely 100% agree with Tone. Offense rusty, defense personnel. I completely subscribe to that. Okay? I totally do. I completely subscribe to that. So, yeah. Sanders is injured already. Hurts will play better. Yep, I completely agree. By the way, the things that Tone's running across the board for you guys, I want you guys to understand that each day we are giving you an opportunity to win some gift certificates with our friends at Hooters. Right here, man, all you have to do is email the show. You get a chance to win some gift certificates, merchandise from JAKIB Sports, and also from Hooters. You get a chance. You'll be all week long put into a pot with the rest of the guys. Come Monday, Football Mondays, we'll announce winners. We had 2 last week. We announced them yesterday, and your name could be right there along with Wayne and Christopher as our first week winners. So we'll do that for week 2 on a Football Monday. All you have to do is email the show, put all your information in there. You see a code word that bangs up on there. Do me a favor, send them in, and you get yourself an opportunity, again, to win those great gift certificates and some of the great merchandise we have here with us here for the National Football Show, all in light of our friends at Hooters. All that being said, please hit the like button. Keep it here on the National Football Show.